The creator's message will rise too, because it might relate in more than one way. What we'll be talking about today is things that have been going on since the beginning of time. They ain't ever going to change. They're always going to be there. There's always going to be people that want to do them. It's just going to be the way that it is. It doesn't matter what we do. There will always be these people. There will always be people going about it. We'll always have to deal with it. We'll always have to have a system of justice in place. And they'll always make excuses. It's never going to change. The only thing that will ever change is some people will be aware to it and some people won't. So what are these things? First, I'm going to get off, the MGTOW content, definitely topic for sure. Or definitely down that road more. Which is abortion. It's something that I often hear in the MGTOW communities that everybody talks about it. Some people actually even, think they're proponents of it, of no more kids and all this stuff. It's a little bit disturbing, but to each their own. Fact of the matter is about abortion specifically. Abortion is a fancy word, but it's a catchphrase. Murdering children has always been something that has been done. One time we call it human sacrifice. Another group calls it murdering children. Another group calls it abortion. Another group claims it's a basic human right. So, if we were to go back 10,000 years in human history, you'd have people who would give you the justification that it was okay for them to murder their children under the justification that it would make their lives better in some sort of way. And then if you skip forward 9,000 years and you look all between that 9 to 10,000 year gap, you'll see there's people there doing it. And then 8,000 years, 7,000 years, 6,000 years, all the way to the modern day. The words have changed. The acts have changed a little bit. They've gotten better at it. They've gotten better at arguing their points. Marketing's gotten better for it. But it's still the same act being repeated over and over and over and over again for the exact same reasons over and over and over and over again to the same ends over and over and over and over again since the beginning of human history. That's why I'm not a fan of abortion, and I don't care what sort of justification you give it. Because I think murdering our own is a problem that we've had since we crawled out of the jungle and probably even before then. I don't think that there's a justification for it if we're going to claim that we're humans that are, above the rest of the species, and we've got free choice. We don't have to kill people. It's a choice. The reason why I said I might put this on my religious channel is because in Judaism they teach the most evil thing that God gave humanity was free will. The ability to choose to take another life. Animals do it, but they don't choose to do it. They do it instinctually, and they don't know anything different between it. Humanity, on the other hand, we've got this conundrum with free will. It causes a paradox. And what separates the animals from the humans is not that there's always been animals among the humans, but there's always going to be humans among the humans that just say that this is not right. This is a problem. You can't be just fucking killing people. I don't care what your justification is. I don't care what your reason is. It's not about an argument. It's about this is someone's life, and I'm not going to take any argument you give me. It's unacceptable. There is no justification. I'm not going to subject myself to this line of thinking and reasoning of relativism, where I can just say, no, this life can be killed, and this one can't, and this one can, and this one can't. I'm not God. I'm not no creator, nor is no woman, nor is no man. And that's my 2 cents on the spot of abortion. As For all of human history, we've had this dysfunction. And there's not going to be a justification 10,000 years ago that you can find, nor is there going to be one today when we look back 10,000 years from today. Another big one is I have a great channel that I watch, a science guy. Guy is a fucking genius. Absolute genius. He is a genius because he doesn't put up with any bullshit in his own mind, at least a lot of his reasoning. The way that he reasons, his method, his structure, it's very, very, very sound. But he made a video about people, making money on their videos or advertising and affiliate links and sponsors and this and that. Some of the things he said were right and they were wrong. But it goes back to the same principle. That since the beginning of time, there has always been people with something of value for sale. And some other people that just don't have anything of value to sell. Other than their sale. The process of them selling, their marketing. That's all it is. It's a sell. Now that's always going to be there. And you can't change that. So it bothers me when I see really smart guys like himself get wound up in but the scammers and the fraudsters and then this and that. Yeah. They're always going to be there. You're not going to be able to change this. I'm not going to be able to change this. Not a single thing in the world is ever going to change this. Now, does it mean don't market, don't put the truth out there? Absolutely not. But that's the way that it ends up being taken, in a way that the people that have something of value to say, automatically they see the way that it's done wrong, how it can be abused, and they automatically respond with, well, then I will place no value on my own time, on my own being. I'm going to give everything away for free. And that runs into them. They're shooting themselves in the foot. And there's no reason to do it. Scammers are always going to be there. But that's not an excuse for the people with something of value not to make a buck while they're alive. Smart people out there shouldn't die penniless and broke like Nikola Tesla, one after another. Just because since the beginning of time there is always going to be, there has always been, and there will never be any other. We'll always have this problem of scammers. And, just like with murder, scammers and fraud, when people are violating other people's rights, that's the only thing we really should have laws for. But it's the one thing that we don't seem to have laws for in the modern age. So you can have all these justifications to violate all these different people's rights. But I've never seen an argument conformed in such a way that you would explain away all of human history, other than by omitting it, neglecting it, or simply acting like it's not there. Now, it's not just, these two things. Another good one is gangs. Since the beginning of human history, there's been one group of humans always trying to oppress another group of humans in the efforts to extract resources, wealth, whatever it so may be, to make their lives easier, in turn making the people they are taking from their lives harder. It's always going to be like that. There's always going to be people like this. And just like with the scammers and the abortionists, they do it as it's a good thing, with a big smile on their face. They want to get into it. Now with gangs, it's another one where they change their face, they change their act. But at the end of the day, they have not really changed. They're doing it for the same reasons. They're destroying the same people. They do it for the same ends. And at the end of the day, if you ever try to confront any of them for the last 10,000, 15,000, I don't know, I heard humans made it to America 130,000 years ago or something like that the other day. For 130,000 years, it's always been like that. It's never not going to be like that. The only thing that can change is whether or not we uphold being humans or we subject ourselves to these animal dysfunctions that come up by just poor human beings. Humans that aren't living up to their full potential, that aren't actually living up to all that a human can be, but instead are saying, well, look at all the animals, that's all I have to be. They're putting themselves way down at a lower standard. And the fact of the matter is that whatever standard you put yourself to reach, generally, if it's a good one, you don't reach it. You stay a little bit below it. And in their case, they don't even reach the standard of being an animal because they're trying to be an animal. So they're a little bit below that. It's a funny thing. These things have been around for how many tens of thousands of years, and you would think that by now we would have a suitable, structured, strong, absolute way of dealing with it. Them. To make sure that, justice was sought and these people were dealt with accordingly. But in the modern age, it has not happened. They're the ones that are running everything, and they're the ones that the world is for. All these people that have ran off in every different direction in their own shitty little way since the beginning of time. No, I don't think they should be taken out back and shot or something. I think the first problem is just that most of us we don't get to find out about all this stuff like we once did until we grow up and we have the choice of reading and choosing what we'll learn on our own. At that point, it depends on how well we'll take the new knowledge, because if it contradicts what we've been indoctrinated with, most likely we'll just reject it altogether, throw it right out. So, these things, they're always going to be around. And there's always going to be scammers. There's always going to be abortionists. There's always going to be crazy fucking nutcase fucking women. I can guarantee you that. Why get caught up in all of it? Why, when you can work on being the best you can be? When you can try to do the best and develop you. Build your own little crew, your own little clique. Don't worry about the entire world around you. It's too big. You're too small. Just work on doing the best that you can be, or the best that you can do. And that's what it is for me to be a MGTOW. Is I keep on just this process of self-development, renewal, building myself up, destroying the shit out of that thing that I built and creating it into something new. And each time you do, you take it to another level. And don't worry, it doesn't get any easier each time, because for every level there's another devil. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's really it. I just want to say thanks for everybody watching. Peace out. Enjoy.